Yeah, good morning. Is the screen visible? Pereira?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is just a recap from the module 1. I hope you can understand this diagram. This is about 5 years because now if you go to the industry, 5 years you can apply very immediately. Like suppose if nothing is to be done or you don't have any work, then definitely uh, you can start with 5 years. So this was the scene before employing 5S or before implementing Kaizen, and this is how it will look once the 5S is implemented. This is for the office table because as I said, this TPM, TQM, everything is applicable for office also, and it's not necessarily for the shop. And after implementing 5S, that is series, ISO, etc., it looks like this. So in your project, if you add the photographs like this, it gives you or it gives the project a good impact or a good punch. This is how the raw material location has been displayed. What is where it is and what is the stock. So round bars as per the diameter and as per the material, that is EN8, MS, EN24, EN36 has been stacked on different racks, and it can be color coded also. Some students, they have suggested to use the color codes, and then color codes can be displayed on this board, like say MS round bar, which are used very frequently, that is a yellow color. So looking at the color, you can identify what material it is and what is the stock. This is a automat shop. You can see these are the automats, single spindle automat before implementing 5S, and after implementing 5S, it looks like this, cleaned, arranged, stacked properly. So always whenever you do internship, any companies, you have to identify always, or you have to record the existing situation, that is in terms of not only photographs, but it can be in terms of data also. That is what is the existing data, what is the existing scene. So try to get that so that you can put it in your project, and it is easy to compare also, that what will be the scene afterwards. So you have a photographic proof as well as you have documentary evidence. So it is always good practice to capture the existing situation in terms of data as well as in terms of photographs. See, these are the photographs, or this is the situation, or this is the environment before implementing the 5S. and after implementing it looks like this. So it is a mindset like a pen. Suppose if you keep pen pencils on a table, ada teda, it looks bad. Instead of that, if we have a pen stand and if you keep pen pencils in that pen stands, it looks better, as well as it is very good, or it is easy, yeah, or it saves the time, that it can be retrieved properly. That is, if you are keeping a pen pencils, it may fall down. So if it is in pen stand, you can quickly grip it or you can quickly take it. This is what is seen. What you can see is how the excess oil can be collected by the sieve. And see, these are the wet chips, and this is the oil which is collected by the sieve. Now, this oil can be reused. Otherwise, this much oil would have gone with these chips. Here, the cutting oil is used for cooling and for lubricating purpose while machining is going on. So you have to minimize the scrap. That is also one of the principle of 5S. This is I was talking about the color coding. Like you can give the colors. This yellow color. Generally, yellow color is for the MS round bars. Safety is also most important. So that's why many times a cloth is also put whenever it is being transported through the trucks, or if it is stacked also, that time also a cloth is tied so that it can be identified very easily from a distance. So this was 5S. The intention of showing that PPT was to help for making the project. One question was asked about evolution of management thought. I think I had covered up this, but still I like to recap this, how the management thoughts were evolved. So management, that is nothing but you have to get the things done. See, you talk about core, but after 2 or 3 years, it is nothing but you have to manage the shows. You have to get the things done if you are on the shop floor or if you are on the production. If you want to go in the core, then you have to go for activities like research and development or design. So there hmm, you can use your technical skills 100%. Of course, purchase planning, they are also all technical, but it is techno-commercial. That is some amount of management and some technical. So finally, as a manager, you have to see that show is run or show is running even without your absence. So that's why you have to have systems. And that is what is your skill is, managerial skill is that how to get the things done. Sometimes the people are successful even without technical incapabilities. That is, they are not engineers, but still they are able to get the things done. It is seen that all the CEOs or all the top management positions, if you see from all the MNCs, you will see that basically they are not engineers, There are commerce graduates, arts graduates, and management graduates, postgraduates, or even CAICWs also. Mm. But very few technically qualified you will see in the top management positions. You have to consider the environment factors. This is how the management thought is evolved. Like in earlier, like see, we are talking about 2000. So when you talk about 2000, when you talk about 1900. So how it was slowly evolved. That is from classical perspective to behavior, to quantitative, to systems, and to contingency perspective. There are the different approaches: classical approach, behavioral approach, modern approach is systematic contingencies, and your theory said and quality management. Classical approach includes this, that is scientific management, bureaucratic management, and administrative management. Scientific management focuses on individual workers' productivity. Bureaucratic management focuses on the overall organization system, whereas administrative management focuses on the functions of the management, very clearly shown in the diagram. And scientific management was demonstrated by Taylor. And he had focused on three areas, that is task performance, supervision, and motivation. He was the one who introduced piece rate incentive system and time method study. Then scientific management was also introduced by Henry Gantt and the Gilberts. So if you visit NITI at Powai, so you will see separate departments which are named after Gilbert, named after Taylor's. One building is named after Taylor. One department they are named after Gilbert, and it is good to visit this NITI. They have good labs also for industrial engineering. They run this postgraduate course. All of you know it is basically devoted for research in industrial engineering, and you can see the equipments, different equipments which are used for time study and method study, like cyclograph, chronographs, then different type of stopwatches, then different type of charts, then how to measure the fatigues and whatnot. All the latest equipments you can see. How to measure the glucose levels in the body, how the blood samples are taken, how the fatigue can be modeled, how the fatigue can be measured. So all the equipments you can see, ergonomics most. So that two buildings are only meant for conducting the practicals and research in industrial engineering, which you will not see even in IIT also. And forget about other colleges. So bureaucratic management, it focuses on the overall organization system, and it is based upon these rules, policies, hierarchy, and the labor is clearly divided among the peoples. Bureaucratic management was suggested by Max Weber, and it is based on these 5 principles. that is division of the labor, that is work has to be divided properly. Then there has to be authority, because without authority you cannot work. Remember, now this will come to know very fast when you go for internship. See, if you don't have any authorities, people will not respect you, even if you are technically qualified, even if you know the things well. But if you don't have authorities, people will not respect, क्योंकि वो माइंडसेट ही रहते हैं वर्कर्स का, अरे इसके हाथ में कुछ नहीं है तो काय के लिए चलने, ऐसा रहता है. Whereas if the peoples, they have some authorities in the sense, like suppose if you want to go for, if you want to take a short leave, then you need to fill up the form and you need to take the signature of the supervisor or of the manager. If the supervisor says, I am not authorized to sign, then why he will come to you? He will directly go to the manager. Not only short leave, but leave. Not only leave, but even not only leave, but even like sanctioning of the medical, or sanctioning of the funds, or sanctioning of the loans. So if you don't have authorities, remember, people will not respect you. That's why many companies or a good manager will always not entertain people's approaching him directly. You'll always say that you approach your supervisor first, take his signature first, and then only you come to me. So that's a good hierarchy of authority. So there has to be rules and procedures, because every institution and organization, it works on the rules, it works on the procedures. Then promotions, appreciation is always important. Administrative management is focused on principles that could be used by the managers to coordinate the internal activities of the organizations. And these are the 5 management functions. That is, they have to plan, organize, command, coordinate, and most important is control. So FALS principle of management, these are the 14 principles of management. FALS, that is division of work, authority, discipline. These are not to be mixed with the Taylor's principle of management. This is your behavioral approaches. The behavioral school of management believes that the classical theories has to be ignored. Your school of management emphasizes what the classical theories ignore. That is, what was missed by the classical theories, that was taken care of by behavioral approach. Behavioral approach focuses on the human behavior. They respects human. Like sometimes the management believes that we don't believe humans, we believe machines, and that's why they encourage automation. They will not recruit laborers, they will not recruit peoples, but they will give more importance to the automation. That is, they will try to make the plant fully automatic, unmanned, and that is what is called as the ghost factory. That is, nobody is in the factory, it will run automatically. But it's a good management practice that you have to believe in your labor, you have to believe in your personalities, you have to believe in human being. Of course, automation is required, but it depends. Like say heat treatment or hazardous work, or if the quality has to be very good. So there you can go definitely for the complete automation. Quality, you can go for the complete automation. But wherever possible, try to avoid automation. So this is what is your hierarchy is human needs. What the people needs? Psychological needs has to be satisfied. That is basic food, shelter. Then people should feel secure. See, this is, otherwise the peoples will leave the organization, and your HR department or person department, they have to do only recruitment work only. See, business is nothing but relations, and you have to retain your peoples. Otherwise, only recruit, keep on recruiting the peoples, keep on training the people, and if he is trained, once he is trained, then he will leave the organization. So that way, the organization will not gain anything. Then, peoples, that is human or workers or anyone, whether he is supervisor or managers, his self-esteem has to be satisfied. Self-actualization, that is respect. See, it's not only the money. People's, workers, supervisors, managers, they also look for the respect. These are the four principles of coordination. What is needs? Coordination requires that the people be in direct contact with one another. Coordination is very essential during the startup, initial stages. You have to address all the factors and phases of the business or any work. Endeavor means work, and it is a continuous and ongoing process. Improvement is always continuous process, and it has to be ongoing on daily basis. If it is stopped, it's not a good thing for the business. So it is always a evergreen process. So Magras proposes two theories, that is theory X and theory Y. Theory X says that most people they dislike work and they avoid it when they can. We have some personality like this. They will avoid responsibilities. They don't have much ambitions. Theory Y, work is a natural activity. Like you should enjoy your work. You should do on your own. And theory Y also says that you have to have commitment to the organization objectives. That is, what are the objectives of organization? So what Elton Mayo says, he has tried to understand how psychological and social processes interact with the work situation. He emphasized on the term teamwork, coordination, human relations. Hawthorne performed some experiments between 1924 and 1932 to improve the productivity. That is also called as the Hawthorne effect. And what he concluded that peoples or workers will perform and react differently if they understand that management is observing them. Productivity increased because attention was paid to the workers in the experiment. You have to take care of your peoples. Then there is a contingency theory. It says that there is no one best way to manage all the situations. It is also known as the situational theory. And this was developed by peoples who tried to apply the concepts depending on various internal and external factors. Researchers, they have also tried to use the hybrid theory, that is, they try to merge the components into contingency. That is classical perspective, behavioral perspective, quantitative perspective, system perspective. They try to merge with the contingency perspective, and they have put up a new perspective, that is called the contingency perspective. So this is one example of contingency by John Woodwards. So what he discovered, that a particular management style is affected by the organization's technology, and based on that he suggested three technologies, that is mass production, then batch production, and your tailor-made production. Okay, so I thought I'll just give you a push and just remember that principles suggested by tailors and principles suggested by Foyles, more or less it looks same, but there is a difference. So do not mix up. This also I have uploaded, that is a small note on management thought, how the management concepts were evolved, what is the scientific management of Taylor, what is administrative management of Fair, then bureaucratic model of Max Weber, what exactly is evolution of management thought is, how it was evolved from pre-scientific management period to modern theory. Who are the different contributors? Professor Charles, James, Robert, and their era. Henry, Rowntree. So you can note or you can notice that it has been going for centuries, right from 1729, right from 1729. So almost 3 centuries. What is classical theories? What are the features of management in the classical period? What are the different elements of scientific management? Which was suggested by Taylor. Taylor's main contribution was time study, method study. What are the benefits of scientific management? When to criticize, when not to criticize, whom to criticize. Criticism is required, but how it is to be done. So that is also one of the managerial capability. What are the contributions of scientific management? Henry Fayol's tenure was from 1841 to 1925, almost a century now. Now it is 1921. These are Fayol's principles of the management. So whatever presentation I showed you, it has been given in word format in these notes.
Sir, you have uploaded this one.
I think I have uploaded this. If not, just let me know.
And sir, what is the name of this book?
Management theory, management thought, word files. Management thought, management theory. Many times, no, the students they don't know. I mean, what has been uploaded, what is there, and they just try to look here and there. But as far as I remember, I think I uploaded. If not, I will again check and I'll upload it. This also I have uploaded management theories. What are the management theories? Benefits of management theories. Here you have types of management theory. Just now it was discussed in the presentations. Then principles of management of Henry Fayol. And most of you know this. It is division of work, authority, responsibility, discipline, then command, direction, subordination of individual interest, remuneration, that basic remuneration, that is basic minimum wages of act has come just to cover up this remuneration. That is certain minimum wage has to be given irrespective of his skill. So even though he is helper or sweeper, since he is
So,
helper and yeah, yeah,
sir, you will have to upload. I just cross check once. In Unit 1 and Unit 2, you uploaded
okay.
long back. In that,
Mhm.
there are only PDFs related to method study, work measurement, and value engineering. You will have to upload these
Okay,
both.
I'll upload this management thought and management theories
Okay.
today itself after the lecture is done. So minimum wages of act says that even if he is sweeper or helper, a certain minimum wage has to be given. You can't say that he is unskilled, so he cannot be paid. So whatever it is, that 300 or 500 rupees, irrespective of skill, as per the minimum wages act, has to be paid. Then centralization, decentralization, all these 14 principles were given by Henry Fayol, and his tenure was 1841 to 1925, a century before. And Taylor's tenure was from 1856 to 1915, and his contributions are also very notable in industrial engineering. And he gave birth to the scientific management. So I'll upload this management theories and management thought. And there is a very effective tool which you can use in your project. that is called as the fishbone diagram. Fishbone, why it is called as a fishbone diagram? Because it looks like you know fish ka bones. So this looks like a fish, and these are the bones. It is also called as the cause and effect diagram. Another name for the fishbone diagram, cause and effect diagram. That is, what is the effect? That is, this is the effect, and what are the different causes? These are the causes. Like say, effect is student got less mark, or say student failed in the subject. So that is the effect. And what are the causes? It is also called the Ishikawa diagram because this was proposed by Mr. Ishikawa. Ishikawa is the name of the person, of name of the scientist. So this
So that
is
scientist also proposed many things, right?
yes, yes,
Other
yeah.
theories also.
But the most important is cause and effect diagram, which many industries they use. Like you take a small task of a particular machine, like rejection on say machine number one or rejection on machine number two. Like I can give example in case of students that is scored less marks or falling sick repetitively. So this is what is effect is. Now here the effect is this example is folio errors and the four measures or say four M's like man, material, machines and methods. So let us talk about say material. Material here is paper. So paper is wrong. So you have to this is the main arrow. In front of this main arrow you have to write this the effect. Then you have to draw these lines and these are the heads, major heads. Okay. And then again you have to divide these major heads into subheads. And again this also can be divided here. Here also you can draw few more lines. Hmm. If you want to divide, that is say your
So
grouping.
what
Yeah,
is with the directions of the, for example, age and type are on the backside of the machine line, and how often poor maintenance and machine adjustment is in the front side of the line.
sorry, come again. Where it is?
Uh,
You are talking about this
machine
figure?
machine line machine
Machine
line
line. Uh-huh,
age and
yeah,
type are on the backside, and poor
yeah.
maintenance how often are on the
A-
front side.
age type, then how often poor maintenance, like this. Now, age means what? Like how old the machine is. Like suppose if the machine is new, then it will give less errors, and if the machine is old, uh, then definitely the machine will give more errors. Then maintenance. Okay, how the maintenance may there is a preventive maintenance, there is a breakdown maintenance. So in preventive maintenance, how often it is done, whether it is done on daily basis, uh, or whether it is done on weekly basis, or whether it is done on fortnightly, monthly, quarterly. Mm. Then in the preventive maintenance, there is a checklist for the machine adjustments. Machine adjustments means like alignment. So in case of say lathe machine, we see whether the live center, that is headstock center and the tailstock center, whether they are aligned properly or not. So every how oftenly it is done or how oftenly it is adjusted. Whether suppose if they are not aligned properly, so the tailstock can be moved so that the center can be aligned with the help of a test mandrel. So they have a test mandrel say of diameter 50 by 300 long, a ground piece or 400 long. So they put it in headstock center and tailstock center. They mount it between center and put a dial. Okay, and they check how much is the runout. So accordingly, the tailstock can be moved or headstock, but mostly tailstock is moved because it is easy. So that is a kind of a machine adjustment. Normally we don't move headstock because it is very heavy. Then we can check for the belts, whether the belt tension is loose or whether it is tight. Similarly, the chain, that is sprocket ka tension, chain ka chain ka tension. So that can be checked. Idlers, gears ka backless, gears noise, then temperatures. So all this has to be monitored and has to be adjusted at regular intervals. Then machine type, that is what type of machine it is, whether it is totally manual or whether it is semi-automatic or whether it is fully automatic. So totally manual means like you have to load the component, you have to true the component. If I talk about lathe machine, so you have to load, you have to true the component, and then you have to take the cut. Everything you have to do manually. Everything start from the end. Semi-automatic means you'll have to load the component and unload the component manually, and rest of the things, that is machining, different machinings can be done automatically, like say turret lathe or capstan lathe. These are semi-automatic. Fully automatic means even the loading and unloading of the components, everything is automatic. So if you are turret lathe, if you have bar loading, hmm, or bar pulling arrangement, then it becomes a fully automatic. CNC lathes also, suppose if you have a bar pulling attachment, then it becomes totally fully automatic. So moment the human is required only when the bar is exhausted completely. Hmm. Like suppose 20 feet bar, if you are loaded, so once that 20 feet bar is finished, then you have to load the fresh bar. So that time only the labor is required. So depending upon the type of the machines, uh, you can correlate the errors. Like suppose if it is totally manual, then chances of errors are more. Whereas if it is totally automatic, fully automatic, and if it is set properly, and if the process is proper, then the errors are less. Like say painting department, most of the automobile companies, their painting shop is totally unmanned, no no human intervention. Even the color change is unmanned. Cleaning of the spray guns, painting guns, that is also done automatically. Then filling of the next color is done automatically. Then the robots, uh, they spray the color, the dipping, the rotation of the vehicle or the car into the paint tanks. Everything is automatic. Uh, Everything is automatic. So
Sir,
that, yeah, that gives you less errors, as well as the productivity is more and quality is good. Yeah.
सर माय क्वेश्चन वाज कि
uh,
वो अलग अलग साइड में क्यों दिए वो लाइन के, मतलब ऐसा कुछ
हाँ
बाइफरकेशन है क्या वहाँ पर?
हाँ, मतलब you have to identify all the errors. This is very beautiful diagram which are related to the machine. So see, these are the four major causes you identify. That is, errors can be because of the machine, because of the material, because of the method, and because of the man. Personal means man. Now, in
सर
case
नहीं
of
नहीं नहीं नहीं, अभी पर्सनल ले लो। पर्सनल के अंदर
uh,
मैनेजमेंट और रॉन्ग
uh,
कंप्यूटर डेटा एक साइड पे है, और पुअर
input,
ट्रेनिंग और डायरेक्ट डिस्ट्रैक्शंस अलग साइड पे। तो ऐसा कुछ बाइफरकेशन है क्या
नहीं
कि
नहीं ऐसा नहीं, सी लेफ्ट हैंड
वो
साइड
ऐसे
और राइट हैंड,
डिजाइन जैसा है ना, मतलब
नहीं नहीं,
नॉर्मल
लेफ्ट हैंड
जैसे
साइड
बना है
इट
वैसे,
डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्पेस, ऐसा है,
जस्ट
डिपेंड
स्पेस पे
अपॉन द
ऊपर।
स्पेस, स्पेस के ऊपर। ऐसा नहीं है कि लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में और राइट हैंड साइड में दे आर क्लासिफाइड, ऐसा नहीं है, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द स्पेस। बट नाउ
एंड सर इफेक्ट वो डी शेप के अंदर इफेक्ट आएगा और बाकी
हाँ डी
सब
शेप में,
कॉजेस।
हाँ बाकी सब कॉजेस, हाँ, बट यू हैव टू ग्रुप देम प्रॉपरली। लाइक अभी पुअर मेंटेनेंस है तो मेंटेनेंस का रिलेटेड जो है, दैट यू हैव टू राइट हियर ओनली, डोंट राइट हियर, ऐसे। दैट इज मशीन एडजस्टमेंट, डोंट राइट एट द एज। मशीन एडजस्टमेंट यू हैव टू राइट in poor maintenance only, or how often maintenance is carried out, that you have to write here only in poor maintenance. type like suppose manual, semi-automatic, that you have to write here. So this is a kind of a subgroup in machine. They say,
Sir, this
yeah,
diagram is important, right? So there will
yeah.
be
This
questions expected on it. So
yes, 5 marks
what?
question. Ishikawa diagram. So you have to
Uh,
draw this diagram, and one example is always essential. You have to give one example, hmm, and you have to explain also. So diagram, that is one example. That is always you have to start with the introduction. What is Ishikawa diagram? That is, it is cause and effect diagram, which is introduced by hmm, scientist Ishikawa, and where it is used, and then directly don't start with the diagram. Then after you write 4 5 lines, then you have to draw the diagram, and then you have to explain the diagram and conclude. A normal one page answer is expected for 5 marks along with the diagram wherever required. I said, and
this is
yeah,
from which book then?
Ishikawa diagram. This is from OP Khanna, Industrial Engineering by OP Khanna, as well as this is also given in Brewer also. This Ishikawa diagram, as well
Michael
as
Grover.
yeah, Michael Brewer, as well as there is one book, Production Engineering by Sharma, PC Sharma, Production Engineering by PC Sharma. So, but that is they have volumes. You have to see the, I think volume number 2. It has this industrial engineering, because PC Sharma, he has 3 series, and it takes care of all your foundries, castings, rolling, forgings, jigs and fixtures, press tools, everything. Mm. So one book like only Production Engineering by PC Sharma. It's a very thick book. It's a concise copy of all his volumes, 3 volumes. So he has cut short. uh, Only from examination point of view, he has prepared that copy, and it has right from your semester 3 to semester 8. He has tries to include everything. Like you will see your machining technology also, cutting theories also. You will see even lathes, milling, everything, production management, industrial engineering, everything you will see. Like almost 10 pages per chapter. And I think there are some 40 or 45 chapters. So it is around say 500 or 600 pages book. So from examination point of view, it is good. I mean, you don't have to, refer so many books, 10 books. Instead of that, if you have that book only, unfortunately, that e-copy is not there.
Sir, PC Sharma, right?
Yeah,
And
PC
which
Sharma.
one?
I think you get production engineering by PC Sharma, so that's the only single copy and which has everything. Instead of going for uh, volume 2.
Okay, sir, I'll try.
Yeah,
Have a sign.
yeah, production engineering. But our library, it had we have many copies. So if you anytime, suppose if you go there, you can always take. The library is open every day, college library. Okay, so then you have causes related to the peoples. So as I said, that left hand side, right hand side is not. I mean, it's not necessary that you have to write certain factors on left hand side, certain factors on right hand side. It depends upon the space. Like say now, printing method. So speed, quality. Now again, in speed, you can write like in maintenance how we are written, how often it is carried out, and uh, machine adjustment. So like that, here also you can write poor training, the reasons for the poor training or reasons for the distractions. That also you can write here. Like no stock. So why there is no stock? Whether the order was not placed. So this you have to combine. Then this gives you birth to the by analysis. Like suppose now, yeah, material. So why no stock? So you have to ask why there was no stock. You know, order was not released, or you order is then why or order is released and you did not receive in time. So why you did not receive in time? Supplier has not sent, or was there any transport problem, or was there any strike, or was there any breakdown. So this gives rise to your Viva analysis. So this along with the Viva analysis, it's a good tool for improving the productivity. So many examples you will find on Ishikawa diagram. Then there is just take 2-3 minutes more regarding that productivity improvement techniques. So I was expecting this. Many students they have written properly. Like what are the different productivity improvement techniques? So this you what I was expecting like 5S, then Pokai, okay, then Kaizen, Kanban, UFD, FMEA. In FMEA you have design FMEA, then process FMEA, Ishikawa diagram, then SMED.
So this is respect to what means.
This
Where
is
where we
these
had to
are
write this.
these are the productivity improvement techniques. So when it was mentioned that only state means what, you have to just write down the names. The description is not required, and discuss on 5 years. So or discuss on any one techniques, because it is not possible to discuss each and every technique even though it is 10 marks questions. So
So it is the
mention
last question in the question paper, right?
yeah, so it was what was expected that you mention all these techniques, okay, just write down this and then discuss 5 years in detail. That was expected. So many students they have written properly, but some students the answer is not proper. And SMED is nothing but single minute exchange of data. This also I have not uploaded, so this also I uh, upload it. Okay, this SMED and this OSHA standards, no? SMED is single minute digit means like your setup should be up to 9 minutes maximum. Whether whatever it is, whether it is machining or whether it is die change, it should not exceed 9 minutes. And this will even though it is a big press shop like Mahindra's car automobiles, so they are also they are able to change the dies, change the setups in 4 to 5 minutes, even though it is a big die in a big press tool. Then safety and OSHA standards. Always in the Viva it is asked what is OSHA. So it is occupational safety and health standard. Occupational O safety and health act. So safety and hygiene is always important, and there are norms for this case. So the
Also,
standard, yeah,
so
yeah,
then we have to upload two Word documents, one fishbone diagram, and
uh,
the three documents which you showed right now.
yeah. This I'll upload. Okay.
So
ठीक है.
please upload it in one header only.
Yeah, within one header only I'll upload this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you.